Let's get right to our panel. Joy Reid, an MSNBC contributor, and Jonathan Alter, an MSNBC political analyst. Good day to you both. Joy, a week from today, Mitt Romney is in London, site of the Olympics. Less for the dressage, more for the fundraising. He'll be joining forces, joining execs from Barclays, which is ground zero for the LIBOR scandal, and HSBC embroiled in a money laundering scandal. Now, I forget, which is the candidate who hasn't been vetted?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think maybe let's say they have some strategy here. Maybe what Romney is trying to do is to show the conservative base that he's not ashamed to be seen with hedge fund managers and other members of the 1%. This is sort of almost flaunting his 1%itude, and it's terrible optics. But I really am starting to think that the Romney strategy is we can withstand anything, no matter how negative, because they've hinged their entire strategy on they think people just want Obama out, and therefore it doesn't matter what Romney does.
And they think that the economy is so bad, if people are so angry about the economy, that too will trump.
But I think they're wrong because they're looking at an echo chamber. If you only consume conservative media, you may think that there's this overwhelming majority of people who want Barack Obama out, when the polls actually show that's really not the case.
Right, it's statistically tied.
I'm not so sure that I think that their strategy is so crazy. The economy is bad. Prior presidential elections show that people vote their pocketbooks. The echo chamber might be more on the Democratic side, where, actually people don't care that much if he's hanging out with wealthy people. They assume all politicians hang out with wealthy people, and doesn't really hurt Romney with undecided voters. Does it hurt him with Democrats? Sure, but he already has lost the Democrats. The election will be determined by the independent voters, and it's not at all clear how much they're turned off by this issue, except on the taxes, because people don't like it when politicians seem to be hiding things. So almost all the rest of this kind of comes out in the wash, but the taxes continue to be a big issue.
Well, Jonathan, let's stay on his trip to London, because this is also a trip for him to burnish his foreign policy bona fides. Candidate Obama went to Europe in 2008 and showed the world, yes, I am a foreign policy statesman. But with Syria exploding and Israel itching for action with Iran over the Bulgaria bombing, this is a trickier landscape for Romney, don't you think?
It is. He's trailing Obama only on foreign policy. In every other category, except foreign policy and who's on your side, which is an important category,
right.
Romney is either equal to or ahead of the president on issues that people care about, especially on the economy. So he wants to kind of close the gap a little bit if he can on foreign policy, get over that threshold that any potential president needs to, that they're competent to represent the United States in the world. The danger for him is if he makes a gaffe, he could actually hurt his standing on foreign policy.
And I was going to ask you about that, because when we had the situation with the blind dissident in China, Mitt Romney jumped out there long before there was any resolution to the situation, making comments about the actions of the Obama administration and being criticized for that. There's a danger that could happen to him again with two major actions happening right now.
Especially since we're in the midst of quick changing events. So it's much easier if there's a kind of a stationary target. Then you can figure out what your foreign policy position is. But when things are kind of coming apart in different regions, then you fall back on your experience and your instincts. He doesn't have any foreign policy experience. Obama didn't really either, but at least he'd been in the Senate and had been dealing with these issues some when he went to Europe and the Middle East before he was president. So Romney has to be very careful here that he doesn't say something that will hurt him. If he just Me Too's the president, the way John Boehner was today, saying he basically supports him on Syria, that doesn't really get him anywhere.
Right. Joy, I want to bring you back to fundraising. Justice Antonin Scalia weighed in on super PACs and fundraising Wednesday. And unlike a lot of conservatives, he says he wants to see disclosure of donors. Here's what he said.
I think the framers thought that the more speech, the better. Now, you are entitled to know where the speech is coming from, information as to who contributed what.
Now, Karl Rove says donors to these social welfare organizations could face intimidation if their names are revealed. So, and I'm sorry to do this to you, Joyanne, but Whom do you agree with? Justice Scalia or Karl Rove?
Well, it's hard not to disagree with Justice Scalia when he's got a softball interview to make him look cuddly. They'll just put it that way. Listen, the idea that Karl Rove is saying, we can't let you know that we're giving money to Republicans because you'll be mad at us, it makes me really feel that maybe Karl Rove isn't that confident that people would be enthusiastic about the policies that these donors are giving money to support. You know, it's quite clear that this sort of plutocrat element on the right is giving money for a purpose, right? They want low taxes, they want deregulation of their own industries. Why is it that they're worried about people knowing that? So in this case, I think I have to side with Scalia.
We've got this on tape real quickly.
It's such hypocrisy because the whole time campaign finance reform is being debated, Mitch McConnell and all the Republicans said, oh, we're for campaign finance reform. We just want it to be disclosure. And then when the Disclose Act comes up, what do? They filibuster it or threaten to filibuster it. This is one of many examples of just rank hypocrisy. Even Scalia is for disclosure, but these right-wing Republicans are so far out there they don't even want to have the basic transparency that we all have reason to expect.
Because they know the public opposes the policies underlying.
And we're going to have to make that the last word. Joy Reid, Jonathan Alter, thank you very much for being here.